Hey everyone, welcome to another update video. It's been a busy summer so far with mission teams and ministry and events, and we're just excited to tell you what's happened this past month.
So this last month, a lot of things have happened, including wrapping up some of our weekly ministries, taking a break for the summer. And so one of those ministries was ESL. We wrapped up this ministry on June 19th. June 19th. We had an ESL party, and so we played some games that has to do with summer and learning some summary words, and of course ate food, and it was just a fun time to be able to be together. And so also one of my favorite parts of that day was that we were able to give each of our students a Bible in their own language. And so I'm just praying that would God would take that and use that. And so it was just a great day and a great end to our ESL, and students are already asking about when to sign up for next year, and so I know it's going to be a great fall semester when it gets here.
Around that same time, we also finished up our youth teen ministries. We had our last study hall on June 12th, and so that study hall, one of our church people who comes and helps, they wanted to buy pizza for all of our teens, and so we had pizza and we had snacks, and it was just a fun time to hang out. And it was also cool to see that students were sad that it was the last one, that we wouldn't get to see them until the next school year, or for some of them that were graduating, that was their last study hall. We also had a few stay for Bible study afterward, and I was honest with them at the end of the Bible study. I was like, if I never see you again, you need Jesus. Like, Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life. And so just like putting all the cards on the table, and they were receptive, they were listening, and it's been cool to see God's favor that he's given us with them. And so that was really cool to finish study hall off with that. From that, we've been able to build relationships with many of the seniors who were graduating. And so we were able to go to the graduation at the high school right next to our church. We just reached out to one of the faculty members, and we didn't have to get tickets or anything. We were able to just go. And so that was a cool open door. And so we went and we got to see several of our students walk and get their diploma, and got to celebrate them and get to meet some of their family members afterwards. And so it's just, Hannah, we were walking home, and Hannah was like, "We feel like we're in youth ministry. Like we're going to our students' graduations, or we're doing this stuff." And it's just cool to see where we were at, 1, 2, 3, 4 years ago, and see what we're getting to do now, and the relationships that have been built. And then from that, on June 30th, we had our own graduation Sunday at the church. We had a couple students in our church who were graduating, but also we wanted to celebrate the students that we've gotten to know from study hall. 2 of our other students from study hall who hadn't come to the church before were able to be there, and I got to meet one of the students' moms. And so that was really cool, because I've been wanting to get to know these students' families and build that connection between them and the church. Just a healthier way to minister and disciple our teenagers. And so that was a huge win, and we were able to celebrate them in front of our church. We were able to give each of them some of their favorite snacks, along with a devotional that was bought by my home church, Cherokee Hills Baptist Church. So we're thankful for them for providing that for our students, and just praying that God would use that, whether they start reading it now or 5, 10, 15 years down the line, when they're struggling, when they're hurting, and they pick up the Bible that they got last year, or the devotional they got last week, that God would just use those little things somehow, some way, to just point them to himself. And so it's been a sweet way to wrap up our teen ministry, and it makes me really excited for getting back to it when the school year starts again.
So as many of you know, summers here are pretty busy for us, and we have a lot of mission teams come in. And so this past month, we had 3 different mission teams serve with us, which was just really awesome to have them here with us. And so we had a couple teams from Oklahoma and 1 team from Missouri. And so this past month was full of different events and full of surveys and all these different things, trash pickup. And so it was just really awesome to see God working through these mission teams. And so one team did like a food truck, and a family started coming to church from that, and they did a family game night where we had a Smash Brothers tournament. For those of you that don't know, it's just a really popular video game, and a lot of our teenagers from study hall, they came and they had been practicing for weeks, and they brought their friends, and so it was just a really cool time to be able to do that and eat lots of pizza and play games. And then we also had a lunch for our church members and attendees, and just all these different things, and we got to see a lot of fruit from the teams. And so several families have started coming to church from that and have continued to come, and so it's just exciting to see all the ways that God is working.
The last big event that we had this past month was our blessing bag giveaway, which also doubled as our baptism Sunday. It was really sweet. We had a lot of help that day, which was a big blessing. And again, for the month after month, the Lord has provided for us to be able to do this through offerings in our church and through church partners that help us and provide for these ministries. And so that day we passed out about 100 free bags of groceries. But before we gave out the bags, we were able to have some baptisms. We set up our baptistry up in the back part of the church, and we were able to baptize 4 ladies in our church. It's so cool to see people take that step of obedience. I'm not just internally, quietly following Jesus, but I am publicly telling the world that I don't care. I've been buried to death, and I've been raised to new life with Jesus Christ. And so that was just a sweet time for our church to gather together to celebrate them and celebrate the decision that they made. That was just super, super sweet. And so, and from that too, we've had more people asking, what is baptism? What does this mean? Why do we do this? And so it just opens more opportunities to share Christ with those around us. And so we're just hoping that God will use that to bring people to himself, and that next time we baptize people, there will be even more. And so it was just a sweet, sweet day.
So a few upcoming ministries, probably when this video gets posted, it'll already be over. Yeah. But we're having Kids Palooza this week, and so that is, if you don't know, it's kind of our vacation Bible school that we do here in the park, and so we're excited to tell you guys all about it in next month's video. Yeah. That's something that is happening right now. Yeah. Also, our Gen Senders, for our summer interns, they have been working all summer interviewing different people, getting to know the neighborhood more, interviewing church members, just to try to collect more data on the neighborhood, and specifically how we can love the neighborhood well, and like what new ministries do we need to be doing, where do we need to put our focus. And so they are going to be presenting that also at probably the time of this video being posted, but there's been a lot happening. So you can, that's coming.
Pray for the fruit that comes from that presentation.
For those things. And then lastly, this month we're gonna have another game night that a mission team's gonna do, and so it's gonna be good. It's a good month. We have a mission team here currently, and we have one more team here this month, and so things are going good.
With that, we just have some prayer requests for you guys. First prayer request, if you could be praying for our ESL students. Our classes are finished, we're taking a break for the summer, but for now, if you could be just praying that the Lord would use the Bibles that they got. We were able to give this to some people who we never thought would maybe accept a Bible, and we were hoping and praying that it would be received with favor and gratitude, and the Lord answered that prayer. And so we're praying that these Bibles have entered people's homes, and whether they sit on a shelf for years unopened, at one day, out of curiosity, desperation, whatever it might be, that our students will look into Scripture and see God's Word, that they would be seeking the Father and they would be led to the Son. So just be praying that as God's living and enduring Word sits in their home, that they will pick it up, they would read it someday, and that it would dwell in their heart and that they would accept it. So you'd be praying for that. Also, if you could be praying for our teens. Now that we are finished with study hall, we are not doing any specific teen stuff until the school year, and so I'm praying that as I get to reach out to teens through text and getting to know their families, that they'll start coming to church, and especially our seniors that graduated, that next year they won't be at high school, so they won't be coming to study hall. And so we're just praying that the relationships we built would still be maintained. More importantly, that God would use what we've been able to do over the past 1 year, 2 years, and He would just be reminding these students of who He is and their need for Him. And so if you could just be praying for our teenagers, that God would be working on their hearts and on their minds, and we would continue to build deeper and new connections with the teens in our neighborhood. If you could be praying for all of the work that has been done by mission teams. As Hannah said, there is a lot that happens in the summer, from passing out flyers, doing surveys, picking up trash, doing different events. There is almost constantly something that we're doing and a way to reach people. And with all that work, there's also the ease of things that fall through the cracks. So be praying that the work that has been done, that there'll be follow through on our part, that we're able to reach out to these people that we've been connected with, and that they'll come to church, and that the Lord would just use all the work that's been done and the work that's going to continue to be done, as we have 2 more teams coming the end of this month. And so just pray that the Lord would bless these teams for the work they have already done, give strength to the ones that are coming, and He would use it to grow our church and to bless this neighborhood. If you could also be praying for our Jensen interns, Mason and Sarah. Their internship is wrapping up soon, and the last few weeks, and we know this from experience, can be tiring. Mentally, emotionally, physically. There can be spiritual attack as you're wrapping up your time in the city, and it can be easy to check out or to dread going home or things like that. And we're praying that our interns would finish strong and finish well. Pray that they would not, that their work would not just bless our church, because we want that, but also that they would go home blessed, that they would go home having learned about themselves, learned more about God. And so if you could be praying for Sarah and for Mason, that they would just have strength and energy, and God would bless the work that they have done. If you could also be praying for the Saucedas, Jordan and Becky and their kids. They are in Oklahoma visiting family, being with Becky's father, and just as he is dealing with health issues, be praying that the Lord would heal and work in ways that the world can't, that doctors can't, that medicine, procedures, in ways that can't be explained, that God would work and use those things, but also during that time that He would give comfort, He would give peace and rest. So just be praying for the Sauceda family as they're in Oklahoma. And then if you could be praying for Hannah and I, as we're here, we are having to step up to the plate and lead in ways that we don't normally. I'm going to be preaching all the month of July and a little bit of August. Hannah is leading worship and prepping things for that. We're leading kids ministry together. And so it is a good time for us of growth and learning, but it's also tiring. So if you were praying for us, for strength and energy and wisdom as we desire to lead well and to serve our church well.
As always, thank you guys for praying for us and for those of you that support us financially. God is working here in great ways, and it's just exciting time. I'm always encouraged by the summer, just seeing the fruit that God brings. And so it's just been great to be able to be here, and thank you just for your prayers and all of this.
So with that being said, we're gonna shut up, meow.
Sniff it, Stormy, sniff it.